Morning, people. Welcome back to the channel, Gators Recovery, Ride Along, and more. Today we're going to be replacing the rear shackle. A couple years ago I put 2-inch lowering shackles on the back of my F-150 to make it sit level because I didn't want it to go any higher. They worked great until I put the airbag system on it so that I could tow a heavier weight without getting beat to death. The airbag system works great, except because this has been lowered, it wants to ride on the bump stops inside the airbag. So I'm going to have to go back to the old shackles, the factory style. Had to buy these because, like a dummy, I threw away the old ones because I wasn't never going to use them again. Oh, and by the way, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you had a great day. Hope you had a good time with your family and friends and ate some good food, because I know I sure did. So this is the part number here. This is a Dorman replacement part, supposed to meet or exceed factory specifications. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take that shackle back there out and put this one in its place, and that will raise the ride height of the back of the truck 1.5 to 2 inches and get it back up where it was at factory level. That'll make the airbag system work a lot better. Truck will sit a little higher, but all in all, it'll work better. So she's going to sit here, the director, I forgot to say it, the director is going to sit here and film what I'm doing. I'll explain it as I'm going, but basically all you're doing is taking 2 bolts out, replacing the bracket with this one, putting the 2 bolts back in, making sure it's good and tight, and you're good to go. When you get done and set the vehicle down, it may take a 30 mile ride to get it to where it settles back down where it's supposed to be. When you tighten these down, there's a bushing that sits in the middle inside the leaf spring, and that bushing, you just tighten it down to where the bushing's resting against it. You don't want to tighten it to the point where it's mashing the bushing. Okay, these are the bolts that came with it, but I'm going to put the factory bolts back in it. Anytime you can use factory parts is better than aftermarket. Like I said, I'm a dummy for throwing the old ones away because who knows, as you get older you change your mind. But anyway, so we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how to do it along the way. One of the main things that I have to worry about, because I put the airbag system on it, I can't lower the axle all the way down because it'll rip the airbag apart. So I have to keep the axle raised up. So I've got jack stands underneath it. You always put jack stands underneath it and support the vehicle. Safety first, okay? So I'm gonna get down here and get started. She's gonna record, and then we'll get back to you after it's done. That's to have one side is on the bottom is one side, the top is another. Okay, so that's out. Do this the easy way. Okay, now that we've got that nut out, that bolt needs to come out. There's not enough throw there, so we need to jack the axle up. Had to put a little pressure on it to get it to move. Okay, so as you can see, I got the first bolt out. When you are separating when you're pulling this bolt out and separating that shackle from the holder, you want to make sure that bolt comes out of there straight. Because if it comes out at an angle, then that means that it's got tension on it. And when you take it all the way out, it's going to pop, and that can hurt you. So I've got the jack stand underneath the axle to support it. I got the jack under it. But if you look at the airbags, because I have the airbags on it, I had to loosen take the top nuts off so that the airbag would allow the axle to fall further down. Because if you don't, you'll rip that airbag. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the airbags, but some of you may. So when you get this bolt knocked out with a hammer, you're going to have to, very seldom does it just slip out because of the threads. So you have to put a wrench on it and take it the rest of the way out. Now, when this comes completely out, it's going to pop and it's going to separate. But I've got the axle supported, I got the truck supported, and it's coming out at an angle. So I need to let it down just a little bit more. See what I told you? Mm-hmm. About it popping? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's the old one. See? This is a 2-inch lowering shackle, okay? I realized after 2 years of this being on it, when I put the airbag system on it, that because the bolt was up here, because you can see where I've cut this off and drilled a new hole trying to bring it down, to which would raise the truck back up. The truck looked good when it was lowered, but it did not work with the airbag system. So as you can see, when you set these side by side, the bolt hole that I drilled is here. The factory location is here. So that's going to give me another inch and a half of height in the back of the truck, so that the airbag doesn't ride on the truck doesn't ride on the bump stop inside the airbag. So we'll put this bolt in. Like I said, I'm not using these bolts, I'll use the factory bolts. But all you got to do is slip this around that joint up there, and it's going to go like this. You're going to slip it around, slide the bolt in from this side. That's why you have to take it up past the frame to get the bolt out, because if you try to put it in here, the bolt sticks out too far, it won't come down because it sits about here. So you have to have the bolt in before you lower the leaf spring back down. But you'll do it like this. Like that, that's not right. You're gonna do it like that. Okay, so let's slip that up there. Get the bolt. Okay, this is gonna be fun. Okay, now it's going through. You got to get it lined up on the other side. There you go. So now we can put the nut back on that one just loosely. And we have to lower the axle down to get this in that hole. Oh, what you call it's got to come out. Okay, because that axle's got to come way down. Okay, as you can see, I need another battery. Okay, so as you can see, the leaf spring won't come down to where it sits in this pocket. It's about an inch off because my dual exhaust that I had done years ago is in the way. So I'm going to cut it right along here because it's time for it to, as you can see, it's time for a new exhaust anyway. You know, I had this done after I put the lowering brackets on there. I've had the truck for 7-8 years. So we're going to cut this right here. It won't affect anything. It'll just be the exhaust coming out here instead of coming out back here. I'm going to cut that, then that'll allow that to come on down. And I've got a buddy that does exhaust work, and I'll get him to redo my exhaust system. It's about time anyway. So here we go. that's gone. Now we can bring this on down to where it is. Yeah, see? Almost pops right into place. So where's my other bolt? There it is. And this one goes in this way. Now, I'll show you a little trick because I'm all about making life easier. So if you take this punch and stick it in the hole, it will help you line the hole up. Okay? So where the bolt will just slide right in. Okay, so over here it's close, but not quite there. Okay, there we go. So you take your hammer, beat it on through. That's the new nut. I don't want the new nut. I want the old nut. And the reason that I want the old nut versus the new nut, as you can see right there, and you see the difference, this has a little nylon in there. This will stay in place and not vibrate out, where this one will if you don't get it tight. You put that on there, like so. Okay, now. I believe. It was the 13/16. Okay. This in here. Now, that impact put it on there good and tight, okay? But let's see. Put a couple more ooga doogas on it to make sure it stays tight. I think that top one is a different size, yeah. That's on there, that's good and tight. I'll put a wrench on it. But as you can see, there's already more distance or less distance here than there was with the other one. So when I lower this down, I measured it before I got started. From the top of the tire to the bottom of the fender well was 6.5 inches. I'm not going to bore you with doing that side over there. This is the basic process. Once this is done, so now I'm going to move to that side, but like I said, I'm not going to bore you. So I'll get that side done. We'll slap the wheels back on it, set it down, and we'll show you the difference that it made. Okay? See you in a bit. Okay, this is the other side. It's done. So we got both sides done. The difference that it made, before I did this, it was at 6 1/4, and now it's at 7 1/4. So it gave me about an inch difference, but that'll keep the bump stop inside that airbag from slamming into the axle. This was the main reason I done it. When I first bought the truck, I didn't pull a lot of stuff with it, so I lowered it down. And now that I'm starting to pull cars and vehicles and what have you, golf carts, whatever, I needed the suspension travel back, especially since I put the airbags on it, because when you put the airbags on, you have to take the rubber bumper off and put the airbag in its place, because it has a bumper inside. And if you don't have enough travel in the suspension, then it bounces off of that bumper that's inside. This right, an inch don't sound like a lot, but an inch will make a big difference in whether or not it hits the bump stop or it don't. So this project is done. We got more projects coming. We'll get a car one of these days. I just ain't found one that's the right price yet. Want to thank everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it's educational. Hope you learned something. But like I was saying in the trailer video, don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Get out there and try it. If you don't know what you're doing and how you're doing it, get on YouTube and look it up. There's millions of people out there doing the same thing that I'm doing. Okay. Please like and subscribe. Please comment. We're still doing the $50 gift card giveaway once we hit 1,000 subscribers. But in order to be entered in that, you have to comment on the video. So please comment, like, subscribe, ring the bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling, okay? And I guess that's about it for this one. Like I always say, be nice to people. You don't know what they're going through. Peace.